And on the other side, we have Artemesia, who again, Moonshine dropped, so Artemesia basically just got a bye to the semifinals, versus Dian. And Artemesia has almost the exact same lineup as Vinny. The difference is Vinny had German Control, Artemesia had German Heinz. Dian banned both German decks, I believe, so it didn't matter. They both had US midrange and air to beat Dian's two combo decks, because Artemesia also chose to ban Dian's midrange deck, which just struck me as very weird. I don't know if Artemesia didn't watch the stream, like maybe he didn't see Dian play, but if I was in Artemesia's spot and I just saw someone with the exact same decks as me get completely bodied, I would ban the deck. And I think he should have banned this Britain deck, and he didn't. And as a result, we have game one being midrange versus this Britain OTK deck. So here, Dian, I don't think you should keep Sherman. Like, Sherman's just too slow. Like, you're trying to kill your opponent as quickly as possible. You're not trying to draw a lot of cards. But 32nd is a good keep. On Dian's side of the mulligan, I don't blame him for full mulliganing. You need card draw. Like, Observer Corps is only good if you have your one Spitfire. Naval Power is only good if you have a Crusader. Fortification doesn't really do anything. US isn't usually going to be, like, dealing a ton of damage in one turn. It's more about, like, several turns of 4 to 6 damage in a row. And Aerial Reconnaissance is only good if you have orders worth reducing. So, full mulligan by Dian. And he gets back both Crusaders, the promotion, which now has a 50-50 to hit the Spitfire, Monty, and the only way he loses this game is to Blitzkrieg, and he has the National Fire Service to stop it. Meanwhile, on Artemesia's side is he does get rid of the Sherman, and he gets back a second 32nd. But Artemesia's hand is not bad. He has the Whirlwind, which will just single-handedly win him the game if Dian does not have a way of getting rid of it. Unfortunately, Dian does have the retreat cards. And I'd just like to point out how absolutely insane this is for Dian. Dian full mulligans. His hand is terrible. He full mulligans. He gets back his 2 draw... Remember, he has 4 units in his deck. So he gets back his 2 draw units and his one of his 2 draw a unit orders in the deck. And then on turn 1, he draws his 1 cost unit, which means the only unit left in his deck is Spitfire, and he can play a turn 2 promotion to draw it. Like, Dian is high rolling so hard. Like, this is truly insane. Artemisia just playing normal turns. I think 32nd is better to have started with than Red Devils, because, one, Red Devils has Blitz, so you can always Blitz it up on turn 2 if you want. 2, Dian doesn't have, like, ways of dealing damage, particularly, so it's not like you're worried about your 32nd getting, like, hit by a sickle or something. 3, you want to kill your opponent as quickly as possible, and 32nd has more attack. And 4, playing 32nd gets a 32nd out of your deck, so you're less likely to draw another 32nd, which means you're more likely to draw Blitz tanks and Blitzkrieg. So playing 32nd was better than Red Devils. Dian just plays the promotion. He has the 6/6 Spitfire in hand. Yeah, I don't like attacking face for 1 here. I think you just need to get a board. Like, I really don't understand why you would attack face for 1 here. Just play the 32nd so you can, on the next turn, move up to 32nd. Like, this is a mistake a lot of players do. Is they will they'll spend credits to attack face for a small amount instead of spending credits to develop more units that can attack face on future turns. So, like, this does the most damage now, but if you look at, like, all of the possible scenarios for the next 3 turns, playing the 32nd instead of attacking face will deal more damage 100% of the time. Like, the only situation would be if he has, like, Monty into shelling. Uh, and again, he doesn't even play a 30-second here. I don't understand what Artemesia is thinking. I guess he's worried about delaying tactics, like forcing units from the front line to his hand, but like it doesn't matter. And maybe he's worried about overcommitting into shelling, but like he can just do like Whirlwind second 30 or the last 30-second. Like this play just seems really weird. I haven't really been looking at what Dian did on turn. Well, he did the turn 2 promotion. Turn 3 pass. I don't understand why. Well, I guess he's saving the Observer Corps for the Crusader. So yeah, turn 3 pass is actually valid here. Turn 4 convoy. Aerial reconnaissance. Yeah, he has 9 cards in hand, but he has the Spitfire, so he's not worried about milling. He has to consider the fact that if Dian has 35T Blitzkrieg, he dies. Or sorry, if Artemesia has 35T Blitzkrieg, he dies. And I will actually double check if Artemesia is running Blitzkrieg, because that does change quite a lot of the like that changes the plays quite a lot. Because if he is running Blitzkrieg, Artemesia or Dian is playing with fire here. He's not running Blitzkrieg. Okay, never mind then. So yeah, Dian should just play the aerial reconnaissance, which is what he does. Here Artemesia should just hit face for 5. Well, he should attack first, see if it's a National Fire Service. It's not. He should just hit face. And I don't understand why people are triggering the aerial reconnaissance for free. Like, I understand that you want to develop units to the board, but you have 5 attack in the front line, and if your opponent can't stop that, you win in 2 turns. Like, not only did he trigger the aerial reconnaissance, he did it at the expense of dealing more damage. And that is a Scorched Earth top deck, which is filthy. He now has 2 delaying tactics, which means it's perfectly fine to do it in this order. And this is just an absolutely disgusting turn. Retreats all units from front line to support line, pins them so that the opponent can't play any more units, and then sets the operation cost to 4 so that when he can play units, his entire support line is locked. Like, we can do it's just the only play. I mean, I don't even know if it's good, because it means that your opponent can't, like, your units can't die to shelling, or something like that. Like, straight up, if Dian moves Crusader to the front line, there's nothing Artemesia can do. Like, I don't think there's a single card in Artemesia's entire deck that could kill the Crusader. So I actually think Fortification, move up Crusader is the best play. And especially now, because looking at his hand, Dian has just the absolute nuts. He has the 2-cost Spitfire that's been buffed by promotion. He has delaying tactics to stop Whirlwind, and he has both Finest Hours. So at the moment, it would cost 8 credits to kill his opponent. So he needs to make sure 8, 9 if he has to play delaying tactics. And he doesn't even have to move up the Crusader this turn. He can actually, that is correct, he can do it in this order, because shelling keeps Artemesia on 6. The risk of going for this play is if Artemesia has strategic bombing, because he wouldn't have played it the previous turn because Crusader wasn't on the board yet. Actually, no, he could have, but we can do it instead. So this is a bit risky by Dian, but it does not matter from this point. He cannot lose the game. Just move up the Crusader. Like, if he moves up the Crusader, there's literally nothing in Artemesia's deck that can stop guaranteed lethal next turn. And he ropes, goes for Flying Bomb, and kills it. So this is actually incorrect for several reasons. One, he kind of saved the Flying Bomb, so if Whirlwind enters the front line, he can kill it for free next turn. 2, again, he just had guaranteed lethal. Move Crusader to the front line, there is nothing Artemesia can do. You can look through his entire deck, there's absolutely nothing he can do. So this is like the 3rd or 4th time in this tournament already that Dian has missed guaranteed lethal, like a guaranteed 2-turn setup. And that's, like, one of the most important skills when you're playing an OTK deck, is knowing how to do guaranteed 2-turn setups. So, like, yes, he pulled off combos, but he pulled off combos because he got really lucky. Like, he didn't pull off combos because he was doing perfect, like, multi-turn setups. This time, Artemesia triggers the Aerial Reconnaissance again, but at this point, your opponent has so many credits, you know you're going to die anyways if he has the combo pieces, and you also know there's only one Aerial Reconnaissance left in the deck, and you can't really afford to play around it. I don't blame him for playing it this time, but he did make the mistake last time. And there's just nothing you can do. Dian has lethal, 26 damage face. We're going to get straight into game 2. Here are the mulligans. This time it's air versus baby combo. So, Dian has a very good hand. Keep rush production, keep double spoils of war, send back 35T. I think that's how basically anybody who plays baby combo would mulligan. On the other side of the board, I mean, Artemesia should send back Wrath 100%. Keep HMS Illustrious, keep Calm Before the Storm, keep Gladiator 100%. That's a very good hand. That's the type of hand you need to get to beat baby combo. Monty is something you could actually consider keeping, because baby combo does run units. But I don't hate sending it back. And if we look back at what Dian does, Dian full mulligans. I don't understand this. I really don't. He has a combo piece and 2 cards that help, like, 2 of the best cards in the game to find additional combo pieces. And he full mulligans. Like, what does he expect to find? Because, like, even if you make the argument he's trying to get deeper into his deck to find autocannons, like, sorry, to find the one autocannon, because he doesn't run Africa Core. Spoils of War is better than a mulligan, because if you mulligan, you're, like, saying you're drawing one card and hoping it is a autocannon, and you can get that same Spoils of War back. So what you're doing is you're drawing one card from a 39 card pool. Instead of Spoils of War, if you keep it, you're drawing 3 cards from a, like, 35 card pool. Spoils of War is just, like I don't understand. Like, this is wrong for so many reasons, and I will admit, I'm not particularly, like, I'm not, like, a expert at OTK decks, but this is just wrong. And I have thought about this long and hard. This is wrong for so many reasons. I don't understand why Dian does this at all. But he gets back 2 Flampanzers, so it works out perfectly fine. Also, something that strikes me as really weird is when he played against Vinny, and he was in the exact same position with baby combo into air, he didn't play the 1-cost infantry with Panzer 35T in hand against Vinny, but he does against Artemesia. I don't know why he changed his mind, because he did win the game against Vinny. But anyways, he does choose to change his mind. I guess he's considering playing more aggressively because he doesn't have combo pieces. Maybe that's why, because against Vinny he had the Industrial Might, I believe. Here, he goes for the Red Devils. This is actually smart, because if he did the 35T, you might think, oh, well, he can hit the bomber right away, he can set up killing it. Hitting the 35T leaves him open to close air support attack, and it leaves him open to just having an air superiority. Whereas this play, Red Devils can be removed, but the only way to remove Red Devils would be air superiority pass, in which case you play Flampanzer. Or, if he doesn't remove Red Devils, you just play 35T and then kill the bomber. And here, we have another, I believe, I don't remember if he, okay, he doesn't buff. Right? I don't remember if he buffs here or not. He should not buff, because your opponent runs 3 Flampanzers, 2 half-tracks. Yeah, okay, he just attacks space. And Dian, this is a smart play. You could just play Flampanzer, but why play a Flampanzer when you can kill this for free? Actually, sorry, I take that back. I think Flampanzer is better. It's better for several reasons. One, you have 2 Flampanzers, and your opponent has 2 1-drops on the board. Um, Britain has, like, Brit Air has 8 1-drops if you count the ones from HMS Illustrious. So it's not impossible that another 1-drop will be played, but why would you not play the Flampanzer here? You're threatening being able to move up and attack for 3 next turn, so you can threaten killing Hurricanes. You can take out the bomber. If he does buff kill Flampanzer, you still have Flampanzer next turn to kill the other one. And 35T is easier to play with combo in the future because it costs less and it has less health, so it's easier to die to rush productions. And you can use 35T to, like, take out an Albacore, for example. Like, if Dian gets his board pinned. Instead, he plays 35T right away. He also top decks Industrial Might, which at the moment is really bad. But it's a combo piece. He follows it up by a top deck of 32nd, which, like, if you had to pick 2 consecutive draws to draw when your hand is basically empty as Brit Air, or against Brit Air, that's basically it. Artemesia just clears the board to the best of his abilities. Dian moves up to 3-1 now because it's all fighters on the board, but Artemesia has HMS Illustrious. And he has double calm close air support. This game's over. Dian goes for the draw, picks the additional draw, like this is correct. Dian does buff, hit face for 5, and then calm before the storm. This is also correct. Dian... Here I don't understand why he doesn't double Flampanzer, because Flampanzer accomplishes the same thing as Errado, with the downside that if Errado can be killed by an air superiority, Flampanzer is better. So, maybe he's just playing to win. I can't think of any card that he could draw that would make this better. The air superiority top deck looks really good, but I don't believe he actually needs it. No, not quite. He doesn't quite have lethal, but he can bring his opponent to 1 and has guaranteed lethal next turn. At 18, Dian does not have the combo. He did not find autocannon. And Artemesia wins. So, this is a pretty good example of what happens when Baby Combo doesn't draw autocannon. But again, Dian mulliganed away 2 Spoils of War. Like, I don't understand. I really do not understand. That's just, like, a massive mistake, I believe. And he lost the game. Like, it's not like I'm saying, oh, it's a massive mistake and he won because he knows something I don't. Like, he lost, and it seems to be a direct result of him not keeping Spoils of War, because he literally could have won the game with just autocannon. And as a result, it gets tied 1-1, and we go into game 3 between Dian and Artemesia, which is going to be mid-range versus Baby Combo. And, wow, Artemesia mulligan very quickly here. Send back half track is correct, send back 32nd is correct, send back 101st is correct. Island hopping could be worth it, but it might be a bit too slow when you're going second. And this is something that's also important, is Dian goes first here. Going first with combo is so important. He went first with Baby Combo, I believe against Vinny, both times? Maybe just one. I know, he went first with Baby Combo against Vinny. He went first with Baby Combo now. He went first with Baby Combo last turn, or last game, and I believe he lost exclusively because of his mulligan. Like, the stars are aligning for Dian. He sends back Jaeger Regiment here, which is really weird, because when put into the exact same spot against me, in game 5 of our game, he keeps Jaeger Regiment, and it's an incredibly good card, and it's one of the reasons he wins. So I'm very curious why he sends it back here. Like, it feels like he's just making random decisions every mulligan, and I'm sure he isn't, but I don't understand why, like, you would be in the exact same situation against almost the exact same deck, going first, and you make different decisions in the mulligan. But anyways, he full mulligans and gets back 30-second rush production, Heinkel, which is very good. He chooses to play 30-second infantry. Again, put in this spot with the 30-second infantry against Vinny. He chose not to play it on turn 1, and instead save it. So he's playing differently every game, which I don't understand. Here I think Artemesia should have just played the 30-second. because like 35T, and that's exactly what happens. Well, yeah. Yep, 35T. And this is why Artemesia should have played 32nd. And unfortunately for him, he draws 32nd. So he's down a draw now. Dian finds double Spoils of War while having 2 of the 4 combo pieces in hand. Just greeds out on Heinkel, which is perfectly fine. Artemesia can get Red Devils to the front line now. But unfortunately, he still does not have a way to set up killing Heinkel. So Dian can just greed out on these Spoils of War, and with now double rush production, he's literally just autocannon Industrial Might and he wins the game. So he should do... He can do double Spoils of War now, but there is a possibility autocannons at the bottom of your deck, so I like getting a 4th Spoils of War, because that basically guarantees you win. And that's what he does. Spoils of War. And at this point, you should... And he finds the autocannon. Oh my goodness. This is painful to watch. This is insane. There's a good possibility he just has lethal on turn 5 again. So Dian moves up first Marines. That's the correct play. Like, he could have done Sherman, I suppose. But I think first Marines is fine. And Dian top decks Spoils of War. So here, you can do Rush Production Autocannon, that's 3. Rush Production 4. 3 30 seconds. So that's back down to 1. So you still have 4 credits. You've dealt 6 damage. No, I guess you don't have enough credits, because your hand is entirely orders. Yeah, he doesn't have lethal this turn. But he only needs to get an Industrial Might, and he'll have lethal next turn. So actually, I think he should just do... That choice is something that strikes me as weird. Because, again, Artemesia does not run Blitzkrieg. You are not potentially going to die. So you could have done double Spoils of War, and then if you still don't have it, you can attack, and you have 2 more Spoils of War in your hand. And I believe the math on that is 6 Spoils of War, so 18 cards deep into your deck. Plus the cards you've drawn already. He's basically guaranteed to get an Industrial Might by that point. But instead he goes for the Guard to protect Heinkel. It does not, because Retreat exists. So, like, again, this is weird to me, because you also put yourself into a position where you mill now. And if you mill Industrial Might, you do risk losing. He runs 2, but, like, you can't guarantee you find both. So this play seems very strange. He replays the unit before drawing, which is just a mistake. Here he should just have done triple Spoils of War, in my opinion. Or at least double Spoils of War, and if you still haven't found Industrial Might, then play it. But draws last. Again, you always want to draw first. But he finds the Errata, so now his chances of finding Industrial Might are so much higher. And also just the number of cards he can play. Like, the amount of draws he can do on an autocannon turn is so much higher. He basically has guaranteed lethal next turn. And Dian mills him again in hopes that he will mill a combo piece, an autocannon, a rush production. Mills Leopold, which, I mean, I guess works out. Dian again draws last. Like, okay, for example, well, not last, but if he had just played Errata here, he has 6 credits and Industrial Might now. He can then do Rush Production 330 seconds, well, Rush Production Autocannon, Rush Production 330 seconds, for a net cost of, 1 credit? So he has 5 credits. He can half-track. He has 4 credits, and then he can Industrial Might to draw 6. Like, he has guaranteed lethal here if he does Errata first. But he doesn't. Spoils of War. Picks up a second Industrial Might, which, I mean, I don't even know if that's good, but I suppose he knows he can't lose from this spot. Well, he certainly knows he can't lose after picking up both Industrial Mights. which is why it's weird to me that he played the Volksgrenadier first, because if he played Volksgrenadier, spoils Errado, and he doesn't have Industrial Might, and then his opponent retreats a unit again and he mills it, he could just lose. I mean, Artemesia heals. It's the best you can do. I actually don't think healing's good. I think you should just, like, commit to winning as quickly as possible. But it does not matter what he plays. Dian has the combo. And kills Artemesia to advance to the finals.